Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles, a great millstone that taught us this truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful Lake Akim, teaching and preaching this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. This Akim Wasab. Today's lesson is entitled Being Slow to Wrath and Ruling Your Spirit. And Lord willing, you be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, which are the true names of the Heavenly Father and His beloved Son in the Paleo Hebrew. And as always, the sit downs, the lessons, the street speaking is for the remnant, the elect, the Israel, the Most High. To you is the gospel preached. All right. And today's lesson is inspired from this morning's reading. Came across Proverbs 16:32, which says, "He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh the city." All right. Individuals that take cities, the mighty, individuals that skillful in war, skillful in weaponry, skillful in besieging lands. All right. A person that is slow to anger is better than those individuals. A person that ruleth his spirit is better than men of war. All right. And, we all deal with different things that we battle in this flesh. All right. Galatians speaks about things that you have to forsake. We're all a work in progress. Let me see if we can grab it real quick. This is Galatians, which was an epistle that Apostle Paul wrote to the Israelites that were in Galatia. It says 5 and 16 point is point is a little further down, so I'm gonna read into it. It says, "This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh." Walking in the spirit is applying this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. All right. Like it's saying Psalm 119:9, "Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word." Your way is your manner of life, your path of life. We all have a lot that's given unto us by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, we're traveling in this lot. All right, we're journeying in this lot, hoping in that we can enter into the wide. All right, this lot is a straight gate. All right, with fire and water on one side and water on the other side. And this place is a dangerous place to fall. So as we apply the knowledge, the wisdom, and understanding, we walk in the spirit. All right. We try our best to not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Now, lust means desire. There's desires that's righteous. You may, desire more income, desire, a place, transportation, more money. Those things aren't wicked, but it can be wicked depending on, if you prioritize it over the truth, or if you hold that in great esteem. Now the lust of the flesh is chiefly speaking about things that can hinder your walk in the faith, that can cause iniquity, sin, all right, and other wickedness. It says, "I say then, walk in the spirit," or apply this truth in your life, "and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh." Your certain carnal desires that can lead you in a path that's not convenient for you. For the lust of the flesh, lusts against the spirit. And we all got certain things that go on, with us that is contrary to the truth. But the truth allows us to diminish those things. It says the spirit against the flesh, so it's a constant war, it's a constant fight. "And these are contrary one to another, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the spirit," if you apply these truth, if you if you have the spirit on you by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to do the things that's right, ye are not under the law, because you're going to do things naturally. If you're led by the spirit, you're going to naturally do the things contained in the law. It says now the works of the flesh are manifest. So it's going to give some examples of the lust of the flesh, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, worshiping other gods, witchcraft, hatred, variance, immolation, wrath, strife, sedition, heresies. And to the newly tuning in, Akim, look up these words to get built up. All right. And scriptures promote studying. Speaks about studying to show yourself approved. And in Proverbs 16, I read it earlier, 16 and 23, it says the heart of the wise teaches his mouth, and adding learning to his lips. All right, that's going into studying. All right. So we see the word wrath there in the 20th verse. Strife, seditions, heresy. It says envyings, murderings, drunkenness. You know, some brothers deal with, the drinking demon. Some brothers deal with revelings, revilings, and such alike, of which I tell you before, as I have also told you in times past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Which the kingdom of the Most High starts off with this information. You can't get it. It's not going to enter into a malicious soul, like it says in Wisdom of Solomon, the 1st chapter. Especially if you always in the wrathful spirit. The scriptures promote peace. So back in Proverbs 16, and this lesson is to me first. One of the things that I deal with is anger. Not anger to where, I'm doing some crazy shit, but you know how it is. You in traffic, motherfuckers are staring at you. You may be at the gym, you at the grocery store, you just out. You walking through a neighborhood, doing your exercise. The motherfuckers is thinking you the thief, thinking you finna do something. So, it makes you angry. But as it says here, Proverbs 16:32, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. So you want to be slow to anger. You don't want to be hasty to get angry. Slow goes back to the Hebrew word araka, long, patient, slow to anger. You want to be patient. And that's one of the fruits of the spirit. Here's the faith and the patience of the saints. You don't want to be in the spirit of haste all the time. And that word haste simply means to be impatient or, very quick to do something. The scriptures promote, what's the word I'm looking for? Meditating and thinking, before your actions. Not just being quick to do anything. So let's put this down. It says, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit. We in the times where you want to rule your spirit, man. A lot of people is dealing with losses, taking major L's, and they cannot stand it. They cannot deal with it. The American dream is failing people. American culture is failing people. People are no longer to go out on the weekends. People are no longer to do this and do that. So these people are crashing out, as they call it. And crashing out is basically being hasty of spirit, to be angry or be wrathful, and to, do something dangerous. So ruleth his spirit, basically having power over your emotions. Let's go into this word ruleth. Goes back to the Hebrew word mashal, mashallah, mashal. To rule, have dominion, reign. To rule, have dominion, cause to rule. Have power, as you see right there in the Strong's definitions. Have power over your spirit, your different emotions. And that's what masculinity is. True masculinity is not being a tough guy, muscle on muscle and speaking with a deep voice, grabbing your nuts, walking with a lean, motherfucker this, bitch that. That's not masculinity. All right, if anything, that's like being brute. Spit coming out of your mouth, talking shit. Oh, I don't play that shit. That's not true masculinity. True masculinity is ruling your spirit. And we are all work in progress, but we got the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to lead us and guide us and to inspire in us what we should be doing in this flesh. So Mashal, once again, to rule, have dominion, reign, and we see the word have power in the Strong's definitions. So if you rule in your spirit, you have power over your emotions. Let's go to spirit. Goes back to the Hebrew word. We should know this already. Raha. Raha. Your mind, your spirit. Okay. Your temper, your anger. See that? Okay. Goes into different things. I'm just trying to find the things that apply to us. Which the best suit is your temper, which is your anger. I mean your emotions. Ruling your emotions, man. Because black culture has taught us what? Black culture has taught us whatever you feel, you need to act. Being impulsive. Which is brute-like. Let's see. 1 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter. Apostle Paul spoke about being brute, which is animal-like. Which animals deal with, go off things. Salakia. Just thinking about a lot of things. When you're brute, you're animal-like, which you deal off your instincts. What's going on at the moment. Let me see, brute. There's natural brute beast. Let me see, is it over here? Let's do it like this, brute. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, that's that. But it's something that's in verse. If I can't find it, I'll keep moving. But oh, right here. Yeah. Point is in 14. 1 Corinthians, which was an epistle Apostle Paul wrote to the Israelites that were in Corinth, Greece. 1 Corinthians 2 and 12, it says, now we have received not the spirit of the world. Black culture, Mexican culture, Native American culture, the spirit of the world in these times. Then was the Greco-Roman lifestyle, that culture, which when Israelites heard the teachings of Apostle Paul concerning Yahushua, compelled them to get all into it and come out of those ways, come out of those Gentile ways. So they repented and they received the, as it says here, now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of Yahweh. And like it's saying, 1 Samuel's the 2nd chapter, our God is the God of knowledge, and through him actions are weighed. Right? And so our power that we worship is a God of knowledge, God of righteousness. So that's the spirit that we received, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of the Most High. And just like we was reading in Proverbs 16, how it says, let me go up there. Proverbs 16. And I'll just quote it real quick. It says, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh the city. So we know, we've learned the things that are pleasing unto the Most High, right? It says back in 1 Corinthians 12:2-12, it says, now we have received not the spirit of the world. We came out of the spirit of the world. We repented. And it's a continual fight. It's a continual battle. Because as we read in Galatians 5, the spirit lusteth after, the spirit is contrary to the flesh. But the spirit which is of the Most High, that ye might know the things that are freely given unto us of the Most High. Which things also we speak not in words which man wisdom teaches, but which the Holy Spirit teaches, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High. So when you go into this word natural, it goes back to the Greek word psychos. In the first century, it says the principle of animal life, which men have in common with the brutes. And when you go to Strong's definition, it says bestial nature, sensual, natural. All right. You're dealing off animal instincts when you quick to wrath and quick to strife, quick to anger. All right. That's how animals work. You pretty sure you came across the monkey videos on TikTok, and the dude would give a monkey some food and he'd just show his teeth with aggression. Just quick. You know, imagine you walking around like that. You just quick to just be angry, being a hothead. So let me finish this out. I didn't want to make this video long. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Most High. A man that's brute-like. You know, he's led by his feelings and his emotions. You're not going to receive this truth, because this truth speaks about being slow to wrath, slow to anger, being patient, you know, examining the situation, not being hasty to do anything. It says, for they are foolishness unto him. They don't seem right. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. They don't got the spirit dealing with them. Right? So let's go back to our principle. Our featured precept in Proverbs. Try to switch it up. Do some lessons live, some lessons on the phone. Back in Proverbs 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh the city. And we learn this through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai coming out of the world, man. Want to be slow to anger, and you want to rule your spirit. Ruling your spirit is having power over your emotions, which is true masculinity. Slow to anger goes into being patient, not being soon angry. All right. Which we all working in progress. You know, we all work in progress. We all trying to, you know, better ourselves day to day. But be mindful that applying these things will promote peace. I'll pull my last one in Proverbs. Maybe Proverbs 3. Proverbs 3:1. My son, forget not my law. Law is not just the law, the statutes and commandments. It's the wisdom. The instructions. It says, but let thine heart keep my commandments, for length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. So applying this truth will add peace to you, right? So you get out of that wrathful and soon angry spirit. So I want to leave it at that, Lord willing. You slack it, damn. I'm going to leave it at that. Lord willing, you are edified. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakwadash, and double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom, Akir.